Hello world, Cozzy here with this week's roundup of Geek Movie news. Starting off this week with The Man of Steel. Now, it's been confirmed via Superman's super site that Jaden Gould and Jack Foley have both joined the cast of Zack Snyder's Superman reboot. Now, they will be playing a teenage Lana Lang and a teenage Pete Ross, respectively, in flashback scenes to the life of young Superman, young Clark Kent in Smallville, and both have been rumoured for quite some time, so it's great to see some confirmation. Also good to see that the supporting cast of this movie is finally coming together. Good news for fans of The Crow, as it seems the lawsuit between Relativity Media and the Weinstein Company has been settled out of court, meaning that finally this remake or reboot or whatever it really is finally going to go ahead. Now, for those of you who've been following the show for a while, you know that because of this court case, stalled production obviously, Bradley Cooper, who was meant to star in the movie, has found other roles to take up. It lost its director, and yeah, it looked like it was never going to happen. But now it is, and according to Heat Vision, it's even picked up a new director in the shape of F. Javier Gutierrez. So yeah, there's a new director involved. It's all guns blazing, just waiting to hear about a new star, and yeah, The Crow begins, reboot, remake, it's on its way. According to Variety, the Evil Dead remake is now without a star, as Lily Collins has had to pull out due to schedule issues with another movie she is involved in, and that movie is Mirror Mirror, where she'll be playing Snow White. Now, a shame, obviously, that this means that the film has to recast and might even be pushed back. But is anyone else out there, or is it just me, who thinks maybe it's about time they re-evaluate the main character? Maybe that they bring back Ash? Neil McDonough spoke to IMDb this week about Captain America 2 and another possible upcoming Marvel project. Now, just to give you a quote, he was actually quoted as saying that Marvel are planning to go into production for Captain America 2 for the end of this year, after wrapping on Thor 2. So by the end of the year, they're going to start production on the Captain America sequel. He also went on to state that hopefully once that wraps, he will go straight on to working in the Nick Fury movie. Now, this has been rumoured for quite some time, and all I've got to say to Marvel Studios, everyone involved with the company, including Disney that now owns the company, make this happen. I want to see a Nick Fury movie, a good Nick Fury movie, and you can do this. You know, we can forget that awful television movie that, you know, did star the Hoff, who I love, but it was terrible, and let's make a proper Nick Fury movie, even if it has to be the Ultimates version. But I do love Samuel L. Jackson. Fans of X-Men First Class, including myself, can now breathe a sigh of relief because Fox, according to Deadline, have signed Matthew Vaughan to return as director for the sequel to the movie, which I'm still going to go ahead and call X-Men Second Class. So yeah, he's been signed on, it's definite. They've already got the cast tied in because their contracts stated they could tie them in for at least another 2 movies, but Vaughan wasn't. So it's fantastic news. If you haven't seen X-Men First Class, please, I implore you to go and watch it. It's a fantastic movie, and it's reasonably cheap to pick up on DVD and Blu-ray at the moment in the end of January sales and beginning of Feb sales, it seems to have strung out to online. So yeah, fantastic. Vaughan and producer Bryan Singer have also started to put forward some plot ideas for the sequel, which includes maybe staying in the late 60s or early 70s and basing it around possibly the assassination of a certain American president. Since 2009, Warner Brothers have stayed fairly tight-lipped about what they're going to do with comic book property Shazam. Now, throughout the noughties, at least 5 different screenwriters basically had a go at writing a screenplay for this franchise, and all of them were rejected by Warner Brothers. Now, it seems finally the screenplay has landed on the desk of Jeff Johns, legendary comic book writer, and, coincidentally, the man who is writing the current Shazam stories that are going in the back of the Justice League comic books. Now, Johns has come out and stated that the tone of the stories in the comics and the movie will vary a great deal. And that means that it can go one of two ways. It can A, be super serious, very, very realistic, even though obviously the wizard Shazam grants Billy Batson these powers, or it could be aimed more at children and yeah, and go down that route instead. I personally don't care. I just want to see this made, and I can't wait to see whoever they choose to be Billy Batson shout Shazam! There's some news on the CW's Green Arrow project, which, as I mentioned last week, has simply been renamed Arrow. Now, firstly, it seems that the comic book Green Arrow Year 1 is going to be inspiration for the actual pilot and start of this series, if it is at all picked up as a series. It's a fantastic book. It was a mini-series released in 2007, and I think you should go out and have a look at it. A great way of telling Green Arrow's origin story. But the only problem is, by doing the origin story again, it pretty much rules out Justin Hartley returning to the character that he has portrayed in Smallville. Something I've spoken about in the last few weeks, I think should have happened. So that's sad, and yeah, I would have hoped he would have got the chance to return to this character. Positives of it, well, you're getting a modern retelling of a classic character's story, which hopefully can be a good thing, and maybe the CW's even learnt from the mistakes of the WB with that terrible, terrible Aquaman pilot. The Hollywood Reporter this week stated that the stars of the Hangover franchise are looking for a substantial pay rise to reprise their roles in the upcoming Hangover 3. Now, the three main stars, Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms and Zach Galifianakis, they are looking for $15 million each to reprise their roles in this movie. Now, some of you may disagree with me, but I agree with them. They were paid less than $500,000 apparently for the first movie. They were paid $5 million each for the second. And these movies are printing money for Warner Brothers. They are making a ridiculous amount at the box office compared to what they cost to make and promote, and they are also doing a really good job of selling on DVD, Blu-ray and on demand as well. So stick with your guns, guys. I really agree. You should be getting $15 million each for reprising your roles in this movie, because you're just making Warner Brothers a shed load every time you do one. It seems though an action classic is going to get remade. Now that action classic is Death Wish. Now Joe Carnahan, whose movie The Grey is doing great box office and has great reviews at the moment, has been signed up to write and direct this remake of Death Wish. Also rumoured to star in it, taking the role that has been made famous by Charles Bronson, is Liam Neeson, a man who has worked with Carnahan on obviously The Grey and also The A-Team. Now for me, as you all know, not a huge fan of remakes, not even that big a fan of reboots, but this really does intrigue me, and I'm quite interested in it simply because, like Liam Neeson, if you've seen Taken, you will know why he's going to be so perfect for this role. And I'd really like to see it happen. Even though the first Death Wish in particular is an untouchable classic, maybe this will get people interested in the franchise who would never have gone back and looked at a 1974 action film. Okay guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, you know where the like button is, you click down there and you like it. If you're not subscribed to my channel, you click on my face, you get to be subscribed. In the description box is a link to my Facebook, to my Twitter and to my Tumblr. Follow me, find out when new videos are coming out and what's going on in the world of me and this channel. If you missed last week's Geek Movie News, there's a link there, you can pop out and watch that. If by any chance you missed my random road trip video with my friend Dan Galvin, then there's a link there, you can click on that and watch that also. Thanks again, and until next time, au revoir.